verses 9 through 11 say, "As the Father has loved me, so have I loved you. Abide in my love. If you keep my commandments, you will abide in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love. These things I have spoken to you, that my joy may be in you, and that your joy may be full." Amen. And so at the beginning of chapter 15, Jesus is speaking about the vine dressers, meaning the Father and the Son. And he continues to explain how a branch cannot bear fruit unless it abides on the vine. And so this is speaking of us being the branches and him being the vine. And one of the fruits that we see in these verses is the fruit of love. Amen. Verse 10 says, "Abide in my love." That's such a simple command. And it's so powerful because when we do abide in God, we build a strong relationship. Amen. Jesus deliberately loved his disciples. As we see in these verses that he's speaking in John 14 and 15 and all throughout the Gospels of John, we see how Jesus deliberately loved his disciples as the Father loved him. What I mean by deliberate, it wasn't conditional. You see, we see Jesus love them by teaching them, by guiding them, by protecting them, sacrificially giving to them, and much more. Being loved is one of the most powerful motivational things in this world. Our ability to love others is often shaped by our experiences of love. That could be good and that could be bad, right? Because we may have gone through different experiences, but that's a whole nother teaching. In these verses, we see how John experienced firsthand, and in his Gospels, how John experienced firsthand God's loving nature and the unique way that is hard to explain unless you've experienced it. It was so strong and so personal. These Gospels are amazing. I love to read them. But he expresses the relationship that he had with Jesus and the Son of God, right? And to the point where he called himself the disciple Jesus loved, and he even asked them, right? But we cannot, and this is so powerful, we cannot know the depths of Jesus's love unless we are willing to face the fact that he knows everything about us, that he knows us completely. You see, he doesn't love us for who we pretend to be. He doesn't love us for who we want to be. He loves us as sinners. You see, Jesus died on the cross for you and me. That is sacrificial love. That is unconditional love. It's not based on our efforts, on our looks, on our abilities, on our profession, on anything, but the fact that he loves us unconditionally. Have you accepted this unconditional love that he offers? John and his disciples convince us in these Gospels that God is able and willing to accept you as you are. If you abide in him, and being aware of God's love is so motivational, it's life-changing. It even motivates us to change. You see, it's effortless. And we may not do as Jesus did, right? Because he died on the cross for others. But there are other ways that we can love as God has loved us. One, we could listen to someone who needs to be heard. Two, we can help others. Three, we can encourage each other. And we can even give to someone who might be in need. And so I want to challenge you today to think of someone who needs that kind of love, greater love. Give it to them. Love them as much as you can, and then give a little more. Amen. God bless. Have a great